here's the deal. In order for people to be bought into your vision, they have to understand what makes you a visionary.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with showing a little bit of your humanity to your team, because that
Okay.
also models to them that you can be a leader and be imperfect. Because here's what, we all got problems.
Right.
But if you come in
Okay.
here so like, just gonna come in here and be about the business, and that can work for some people. So I'm not trying to disparage anybody who's that way, but I think that when people can see you as a person, and it makes it feel a little bit more of like an even playing field, to be like, wow, Sonia, she shared her type too. Now I understand her a little bit better. When I did this with Lamar, he was like, yeah, Amber, yeah, tell him I don't want no mess. Right? But again, now that's language to
Right.
be able to say like it's a two-way street, because communication is transactional in that regard. It's a two-way street. So I would definitely encourage you to share what your type is as well.
You're about to listen to the best of TSP. This is a collection of content from workshops and conferences that we've done over the years, because we want to help you grow and expand your business. So do me a favor, lean in, pay attention, and listen now.
Okay. My name is Sonia English, and my question is, if you have already hired your staff, they're already a part of your staff, what's the best way to segue into doing the assessment at this particular point? And I heard the questions that you can ask, which are just amazing, so you can possibly do better in the future and do better communicating with them. But how can you implement it if you you already have your staff?
Um, and, hey guys, I found this assessment and we're gonna do it. I mean, I don't think it needs to be more complicated than that. But if you wanted to share with them, say, you on your team meeting, I believe in meetings, because it gives me a chance to look you in the eye, even if we're virtual. It gives us a chance to connect and engage. So hey y'all, I learned about this assessment that I think can really help us strengthen our work as a team. That's it. I always say, if you make it a big deal, it'll be a big deal. But if you come in like, so guys, we've got some challenges here, and I think we need to go with this assessment. I heard this thing. It don't have to be that. It could just be like, I think that this would be beneficial to us. So I would like your buy-in. I think it's going to be great. Let's have some fun with it. And let's learn a little bit about ourselves. We know the whole deal of, we spend more time with our coworkers than we do with our actual family. And well, and now the lines are blurred because we're all home because of COVID. But yeah, just present it and say, I've taken my time. I found the team building exercise that I think would be great for us. Or you can even, sell it to say, imagine a team where we all come together and we listen to each other, and there's there's no confusion, there's no drama, and there's no backstabbing. MBTI is the answer, if that's your bag. If not, okay, on Friday, everybody, go through the process, but just go ahead and introduce it.
Do you recommend sharing your assessment, what you've realized that your number is? Because I took that assessment before, and then giving them some examples of how to process it or better communicate, so that it's a little easier when you
Absolutely
identify that some of the ways that they may choose to communicate can be, how can I say this nicely? I identified some of my employees when you were talking, and I haven't yet. I've found out, based on what you were saying, what's the best way to communicate with them, that some of those things, based on their personality, is not acceptable. I've just dealt with it because I recognize it, but I didn't know how to address it without technically offending them and possibly getting to the point where I fired one of them.
Yeah.
And so you gave me the tools to handle that a little bit better. And maybe if I'm a little transparent with how I recognize some of those things in me, would help. Is that,
yes,
am I on the right
absolutely,
track?
wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. In order for people to be bought into your vision, they have to understand what makes you a visionary.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with showing a little bit of your humanity to your team, because that also models to them that you can be a leader and be imperfect. Because here's what, we all got problems.
Right.
But if you come in here so like, you're just going to come in here and be about the business. And that can work for some people. So I'm not trying to disparage anybody who's that way, but I think that when people can see you as a person, and it makes it feel a little bit more of like an even playing field to be like, wow, Sonia, she shared her type too. Now I understand her a little bit better. When I did this with Lamar, he was like, yeah, Amber, yeah, tell him I don't want no mess. Right? But again, now that's language. Right. To be able to say like it's a two-way street, because communication is transactional in that regard. It's a two-way street. So I would definitely encourage you to share what your type is as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I love it. And dealing with our employees, I try to remember, Amber, that it's not their fault or my fault. There's nobody at blame. This is just who we are, and this is kind of how we work together better. So, Sonia, I feel your pain. We're going to go to our next question from Adrienne Simpson, my mastermind sister. You should be able to unmute your mic. There you go.
Good afternoon. I'm Adrienne Simpson, and so happy to be here with y'all today. Amber, my question is, I am an ENTJ, and I wanted to know if there was a best practices mix of traits that you might recommend for a good team balance, because I like to receive information staccato and give it staccato. And so as stories get long, I find myself picking out the pieces that I need to glean for what I need to do. And so sometimes I'll zone out on the whole thing and just pick what's important to me. And so is there a good best practices or best practices mix?
I don't think that that's a personality thing. That's a communication thing. When people are long-winded and they just tend to talk in circles and in cycles, I'm not afraid to say, thank you for sharing. I'd like to interrupt you for a second. Thank you so much for sharing with me what you've shared so far. Help me understand, or tell me more about what your actual question is.
Actual question.
I'm not being rude. I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to belittle you. I just want you to get to the point. So instead of just saying, girl, get to the point. Now I'm just like, help me understand what is your question? Or
I found myself saying, shortcut me, please.
There you go. Right. And it feels icky because it's just kind of like, but some people who are long-winded, they know they long-winded. But they also may not have been, sometimes they don't mind being reeled back in. Mm-hmm. So again, you see how I said earlier, how we put things on personality that personality doesn't deserve. That doesn't have anything to do with the personality makeup of your team or your environment or how you engage with people. It's really just more of a communication thing, because time is money.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Traffic Sales and Profit Show. Hey, do me a favor. If you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe and follow us on this platform right now to make sure you do not miss a beat as we drop new episodes and additional content every single week. Also, if you'd like to get access to a free paperback copy of my book, access to the TSP Traffic Sales and Profit free Facebook group, our challenges, resources, our events, and more, make sure you visit us at www.trafficsalesandprofit.com/podcast.